Good afternoon. I'm Jen Holtz, Associate State Director for Outreach at AARP Maryland. Our team is committed to serving 50 plus Marylanders and their families. Throughout the pandemic, we have heard the struggles and joys of parents, grandparents, and kinship caregivers. As we remain vigilant, yet hopeful that the constraints of COVID 19 will loosen, AARP Maryland is here to provide you with simple tips as well as meaningful ways to engage with your kids and build an appreciation for those in our community. May is Asian American Heritage Month, which highlights the achievements of Asians and Pacific Islanders. This special occasion takes place in May as the first Japanese immigrated to the United States on May 7th, 1843. Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders have helped shape our country throughout the decades. This May, during Asian American Heritage Month, AARP continues their legacy in the US, both but the empowering and painful chapters of our history. We are thrilled to continue celebrating unique perspectives of our diverse storytellers and advocates who uplift Asian American voices to ensure that the community's contributions and hardships, including recent tragedies, are fairly and accurately representative. Equally important are all those who continue to inspire future generations to leave an enduring mark in our country's culture and history. With that, I am so happy to introduce you to Yen Chen. Yen works for the federal government and has been a producer of Chinese language programming with Montgomery Community Media since 1996. Yen served on the Montgomery County Cable Communication Advisory Committee to advocate for public access stations. She has volunteered at the Chinese Culture and Community Service Center, Organization for Chinese America DC Chapter, and Madison Chinese Dance Academy. Hopefully, we can recruit her to volunteer for AARP Maryland as well. Yen is here today to discuss a wonderful book, I Dream of Popo by Livia Blackburne. So Yen, let's jump right in. Tell us about this book, I Dream of Popo.
All right, let's start from the title, I Dream of Popo. Popo in Chinese means grandma, specifically maternal grandma. And this is a story about a little girl who lived in Taiwan, grew up there, spent a lot of time with the grandma. Grandma taught her a lot of things, took her to the park, talk about the New Year tradition and things like that. And one day she moved to the US. So she started to learn the new language, new culture, meets new friends, and she can only talk to Popo by phone now. One day, of course, she comes home to see Popo. For some reason, she just kind of feel like speaking Chinese is not as easy as before, and however, Popo's house and all the food she enjoyed are still the same. Eventually, she has to go back to the U.S., her new home, and then she still communicate with Popo by phone. And of course, something happened. Popo is getting old, and so the book ended as that she dreamed of Popo in the dream, and Popo to her in English, greeting her in English, but she's greeting Popo in Chinese. So let's just kind of sort of end it there. There are probably several ways to kind of describe the ending, but it really resonated with me. And also, after I read the book, got me to think about a lot of things.
So I love how you say the story resonates with you. Can you go into that a little bit more?
Certainly. Similar situation to the author that I also grew up in Taiwan. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. As a matter of fact, we lived with my paternal grandparents, and also I visit my maternal grandma frequently. So I learned a lot from them on all different things. Yes, I'm here in the US now. So I came here when I was 17, 18 years old. Um, I had to learn new language, new culture, and also the new system because I was 17, 18. It's time for me to apply for college. So that was somewhat challenging. And I can only, my paternal grandpa actually also came to the US and lived with us, so I can talk to him in person, but I can only talk to my grandma by phone. It is the similar situation there, but it's a little bit different because in my case, I was trying to know all the new things, and also at that time, it's just challenging trying to apply for college. And the matter of fact, or fact of life, was I didn't have a lot of time to worry about other things, to talk to. I probably could say talk to my parents, talk to my grandparents. I was just worrying about where am I going to college. So the frequent communication sort of stopped. Maybe once in a while, chat, good morning, that sort of
Mhm.
things. And also back then, I guess the international call was very expensive, so
Mhm.
we couldn't talk for a long time. So similar situation. The communication seems to be a little bit different simply because we don't have the close contact anymore.
Right, right, absolutely. So it seems as though the book really touches on the struggles of a young person coming to the United States and having, here's a young person right here, and having, to deal with the separation from those loved ones, especially the elders that they really truly respect and get advice from. And while your situation may have been a little different because you were a few years older, I'm sure the feelings were the same. So absolutely wonderful how this was similar to, and you felt, connected to the book in that way.
Yes.
So this seems to be a really great book or a great resource for schools and libraries. You want to talk a little bit about how schools and libraries and other organizations could use this book, or how grandparents could share it with their grandchildren?
Yes, absolutely. Like mentioned earlier, after I read book, it really got me to think a lot about my past, my experience with my grandparents. That was wonderful. I think this is a great opportunity for parents, for grandparents to use this book as an opportunity to talk to their kids, to the youngsters, share about their lifetime experience, share about the family history. Like I mentioned earlier, I didn't get a chance to talk to my grandparents after I came here, and right now a lot of times I regret I didn't spend much more time with them because I would like to learn a little bit more about my own family, my own heritage, some of the traditions, so it will be wonderful. And also for libraries or teachers, they will be a great opportunity for you to talk to students about their own background and things like that. Since we are celebrating Asian Pacific American Islander Heritage Month, I want to bring up something. I just want to share the book a little bit. So there's the opportunity for you to learn some Chinese. See, um, at the end of the book, there's a glossary which shows the Chinese character, shows the pinyin, how to pronounce the word, and also the meaning of the word. And here, for smaller kids, this probably will be a great opportunity because there's pictures. What's better than the pictures? All those illustrations are so wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to show another one. Um, at first I was reading the book, and then later on I started to look at the pictures. All those pictures are amazing because I think the illustrators actually. Oh, hi! I think we got our author here.
Hi,
This is
sorry I'm
this is
late.
no problem. This is so exciting. We actually were not sure if we were going to have Livia join us today, who is the author of I Dream of Popo. And so you've popped into the studio, and we are absolutely thrilled to have you. So thank you, Livia, for coming by for a couple of minutes. I'm not sure if you were able to see the earlier portion of the interview, but Yen did a great job of discussing the book itself and how it personally resonated with her. I think we'd love to hear from you about what your inspiration was to write I Dream of Popo.
Oh, sure. Again, like, thank you so much for featuring the book. I caught the tail end of what you were saying, and it was really interesting. I love the pictures as well. The pictures are wonderful. So as you can probably guess, it's based a lot on my own life and my own experiences growing up. So I'm not exactly that little girl, but I also was born in Taiwan, and my popo took care of me a lot when I was growing up, and so when I was 5, I moved to the United States as well. And so, our relationship changed. We didn't have FaceTime back then or video chat like we have in the book, but so we had long distance phone calls. I would go back once a year. And our relationship changed. I started losing some of my Chinese, so it was harder to communicate with her, and just trying to navigate that. So my grandmother, she passed away when I was a teenager, and since then, once in a while, I have dreams about her, as we do. And in all the dreams, we will be having these really long conversations in English, which was something we were never able to do when she was actually alive. So, it's always bittersweet waking up from those. And that was just the spark of the book. It started with the dreaming and of the Popo speaking English and the girl speaking Chinese.
It's a lovely story, and as you probably know, this Lunch and Learn series that we've been doing since the beginning of the pandemic is really focused on how parents and grandparents and kinship caregivers can connect better with their kids during something as serious as a global pandemic. And finding those connections and ways to share have really helped us all stay sane. And our elders are so influential on our kids' lives. So for you to put that into an illustrated book is really, really special. So we wanted to go ahead and share that today. And of course, the timing was perfect for Asian American Heritage Month. So I want to thank you for letting us do this. And Yen, thank you so much for being our guest today and talking about the book.
Thank you so much too.
Yes, absolutely. So this has been very enlightening. We're so happy to celebrate Asian American Heritage Month, and we want everybody to keep tuning in every other Wednesday because we will continue to talk to our special guests about ways to connect with our youngsters as the COVID-19 crisis slowly fades. So we will see everyone again in 2 weeks. Thank you both.
Thank you.